Welcome. Today I got Beth Berry with Real Green's Lawn Service here on the phone. We're going to do a live demo taking her and her company through what LawnBot is, how it works, how's it going to help your business close more sales. So Beth, thanks for jumping on the call with me today.
It's
How
my
are you?
pleasure. I'm doing terrific. I'm going to learn more about your product today as well.
Well,
Our customers absolutely love it.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. What initially prompted your interest in LawnBot? I saw you hit our website, and what got you interested in it?
Well, we were interested prior to the COVID event. We've had to repurpose some of our salespeople, especially our door-to-door, so we want to be more
Yeah.
efficient. But we've had this business for over 30 years, and we know that more and more
Wow.
consumers buy after hours. They buy
Mhm.
24/7, just like you and I get on Amazon at midnight. They want to shop for lawn care during that time. And on weekends,
Yeah.
there's nothing that prompts more interest in lawn care than being out on the lawn over the weekend and thinking, I got to call my lawn care provider or I need to call a service. And then Monday morning comes around and they lose track. So we want to find those customers that are motivated 24/7 to hop online and actually have a call to action. So we know that 63% abandon after they look at our website, and we want them to get on board and buy. So we think LawnBot is going to be the tool to allow us to do that.
Absolutely. And I would assume, I mean, you guys already employ salespeople, right? Like you guys have
Oh,
people on the phone calling outbound and taking inbound stuff.
yes, we have a full outbound effort and inbound, and
Okay.
we really want our sales guys to have those more sophisticated sales type calls and not just the order taking. We know that there's a very large subset of sophisticated lawn care buyers, and they don't really need all of the expertise for those sales guys. They'll sign up right online if they have the right price.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to agree with you. My emails, I actually had to mute my computer for our call here today. I don't want it blowing up in our ear, but we're in the midst of a busy spring season, and you wouldn't believe it, Lush Lawn out of Detroit just made 3 sales in a row before we had hopped on this call, and I mean that makes me happy. I mean when you see 11-12, 11-15, 11-24, 3 sales in a row, where that's quicker than any salesperson can close a deal. Usually they're stuck on the phone, talking about the weather, right? Rather than, getting the deal done and getting on to the next one. We all know everybody's time is valuable. So thanks for joining me, and I'm excited to take you through this. So what we have on the screen here is Lawn Plus. They're one of our, better performing bots here. I thought I'd take you through this one. They seem about a similar size to your company. And as you can see, so right now you have people hitting your website, and the typical process is they fill out their information, they enter Mrs. Jones, they enter their phone number, email, and address, and then they click submit. And then typically on most companies' websites, they get a message that says, okay, thanks, somebody's going to be in touch sometime soon. So the biggest thing that changes, and this is a newer process and it works really well, is the only thing that changes is when they click get my instant quote, instead of landing on a boring thank you page, they're going to land right on Lawn Plus. Beautiful, sleek, simple, I think sexy, instant quoting process. And you can see within seconds, they're going to be shown a picture of their house, picture of the street view if there's one available. And then we get right into it. We really tried to make this an interactive process, just like you would over the phone. So we really tried to take a traditional phone script and put it into a digital format where it's going to work, 365, 24/7, always shows up early, it stays late, and it works the weekends. So it's really the perfect platform here. So do you have any additional questions for me at this point, Beth?
I think you're right on track. It looks like the ideal employee. If we could get them to work 24/7 and always be ready to answer a question. One of the
Yeah.
questions I want to know as you go through this is, where do you actually get the lawn size?
Yeah, great question. So I'm going to answer that here in a second, and we're gonna pop. I'll show you the point in the conversation. So we'll click yes, We hit them with a quick value add. What makes your business special? What differentiates you from the competition? And boom, making sure not to measure the house and driveway. We measured your lawn to be 10,840 square feet. What are you interested in today? So to answer your question, we actually get the square footage. First, we're checking your real grain system to see if there's a record in there, statuses 0 through 7 with a lawn size. And if there is a lawn size, we can use that in the chat. It's really cool. Think about your marketing universe, especially if you've been in business for forever. You have tons of records in there. We get to utilize that data here in real time. If it's not in your real green system, then we go ahead and go to Zillow and pull the parcel size and then subtract a certain percentage to account for the house and driveway. And that percentage is different. In Michigan, we use 30%. In Denver, Colorado, Lawn Doctor out there, Ebert Lawns, Fit Turf, those guys, they're using 50 to 60% subtracted from the house and driveway. And then with that, there's actually a square footage cutoff. So that means, we can program your bot not to quote anything over 30,000 square foot lot size. So, you think of the client that has, the sprawling spread of 10-acre lot size. We're not going to be, sticker shocking anybody with $10,000 fertilizing quotes. It'd be awesome, but I don't think the close rate would be too high. So at this point in the chat, we call these service types. So think of a service type as fertilizer, weed control, pest control, perimeter pest, mosquito, flea and tick. Each one of these service types can have different, what we call probing questions, just like you would over the phone. When we're training sales reps, we train them to ask questions to, get information to ultimately close the sale. So each one of these service types can have probing questions that affect what program we're going to recommend in the checkout. So I'll take you through here. At this point, it's going to ask us, do we want to get an instant quote, or do we want to customize the program? If we click Get Quote Now, it's going to give us our default program for fert and weed control. So whatever your best-selling program is. At Lawn Doctor, we use the Green Thick Weed Free package, 6 apps, whatever your best seller is. If they click Customize My Quote, we're going to ask them probing questions. So have you been doing the lawn yourself or having another company take care of it? I'd hire another company. Awesome. Glad to hear you're taking pride in the yard. Believe it or not everybody cares about their yard like you. What are you looking to improve out there? Customer service, better quality, better pricing. And so, Beth, I'm sure that with your years in the business, you've heard these probing questions quite a bit through the years, right?
And they don't change that often, Kendall.
No, it's funny if you go to the True Green branch in Michigan and then go down to the True Green branch in Georgia, the agronomic questions might change, but they're using a lot of these same probing questions to deliver the sales process. So it's pretty interesting. You can see what's really interesting about this process is it's very visual. Mrs. Jones might not know what violets are, the name of the weed, but they certainly know what it looks like. So we have the ability to add pictures and different options depending on your market. So, down in the South in Georgia, we have a question where we ask their turf type. And most people don't know the name of the grass, but they certainly know what it looks like. And they can say, yeah, I've got this or this. So we can actually customize their program based on their actual needs on the lawn. So you can see there, we just answered. Now we're going to put together the quote. It's going to pull in data from the satellite imagery and the parcel data in this case, because there's no record in real green available. Boom, they land here right on the checkout. We tried to make it really slick and sleek and simple, really easy to see and understand. You can see here, $71 an application, 4 applications a year. This is their main program they're trying to push right now. We have the ability to add sales tax. That's pretty important, depending on the area of the country you're in and the locality as well. We can do grub control. These are all their upsells. So I call this the Starbucks.
As a business owner, I get to decide which programs or special jobs can be included, correct?
Yes. Yep. There's actually the same question that John with Experigreen asked me. He said, Kendall, I want to sell most of my services, but some of them I don't want to sell through here. I said, that's fine. That's totally okay. You get to decide as the owner what, in the business, what programs and services you'd like to sell through your bot. So we have the ability to add any one-time or reoccurring program or service into your bot. And we can have each program attached to a different price table, much like Real Green does. I think that's why the synergies work pretty well, is we think about things very similarly around the parameters. So when we set up your bot, we're taking all of the parameters that you have in your service assistant, using it in the bot, and that's how things work correctly and flow correctly with the integration. So it's pretty slick here. So I'll kind of take you through the checkout. This is we put a lot of time into this, the look and feel. So we have the ability to do payment options, right? Prepay or budget billing, or installments and prepay, or pay as you go and prepay with a discount. What's cool is we can turn off, some companies don't want to offer prepay past June, let's say, for example. You have the ability to affect when you stop offering prepay to those clients, and then it would just default to the one billing type. So I mentioned upsells here. These are all the upsells that you could add. You can add as many as you'd like. I like to think simpler the better. We got grub control. So let's add grub, and you can see it's adding it to the checkout in real time. It's calculating service tax, and then they can go ahead and see the price break here. Wow, looks good. $377. Yeah, sign me up, Kendall. Let's do it. So at this point, we're going to enter the credit card information and become a customer. Call this the one-step checkout, because literally I don't have to go to any other page. It's like right next to the pricing. It's like very clear. And the coolest part is,
isn't that how we as consumers are wired anymore? It's almost the Amazon model. It better be frictionless.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said when I built this product, is if I'm going to be a part of this, it has to be easy. It has to be simple. Because a lot of the options I saw out there they weren't thinking about like the end customer. I think the thing that makes us really different is we really think about sales. We want to close deals. And the way we're going to close deals is making the easiest, simplest buying process. And really what we're seeing is people are paying more money to buy this way. They don't want discounts. They want like just an easy process where it's not some like drawn out, story just to get a quote. And then beyond that, to sign up and like, how do I pay you? We try to make it as simple as possible. So at this point, if you click pay, you're going to be, you'll be a sale at that point. We're going to ask you service related questions. So do you have a locked gate? Do you have pets and kids? Would you like to be called or texted before each visit? All of those types of service related questions that you typically have a rep ask over the phone. At that point, before I get into the Real Green aspect of this, I want to show you the mobile aspect. So while desktop looks good, we're seeing about 60% of our traffic is actually mobile. So we built around mobile first. So you see here, it looks similar to like Uber Eats. That's kind of where we got our inspiration from, was this kind of, it feels like an app. It doesn't feel like a website. So it's, we try to make it real clean and really simple and easy. And the client can go through here and just simply, purchase lawn care and become a customer. So that's the buying process in a nutshell, Beth. Did you have any questions for me before I dig into the Real Green portion of this?
From your customers who have been using the product, and I agree with you on those percentages, have you received any feedback from anyone who thinks that the pricing is like exponentially off one way or the other? So too little square foot and they're losing productivity, or too much and they're losing the sale?
Yeah, we haven't had any big issues, with being mismeasured. What we do, what we're doing as a team at LawnBot, we're currently looking, every sale that's made, we go through and we check. Like we're double checking our formula, making sure it's accurate. So we haven't had any big losses yet so far. So it's been pretty nice to see. But the way we kind of guarantee that doesn't happen is the way we're doing our algorithm, right? We have a minimum square footage and a maximum square footage for the lot size. And if that parcel, that address is over the square footage for the lot size when they're coming through the bot, let's say it's 50,000 square feet, but our cutoff was 30,000 square feet. Well, we're not going to show that person pricing. We're going to go ahead and say, hey, Jim, your property is a little bit too big for us to instant quote. We're going to have one of our sales reps reach out to you. So that's kind of the way we guarantee that we don't run into issues. And if you think about it, a 10,000 square foot parcel, the biggest area of lawn that parcel could have is 10,000 square feet. So, we take 10,000 square foot, we minus 20% for the house and driveway, and that gets us pretty close. So
that's cool. So question for you, Kendall, what's the vehicle in Service Assistant? How does it actually get to the salesperson? And I like that. So most of them are going to be auto measured and auto quoted, but I like those parameters. So it's too large. Is it a call log, or what's the vehicle within Service Assistant?
Yeah, great question. So let me, it is actually a call log notification. And so let's say I abandon at this point. Let's say I just close my phone or browser. During this, what's nice about the chat process of taking somebody from point A to point B down the process is during that journey, from when they hit the bot, all of those dispositions are happening in Service Assistant in real time. So we're checking the system, and then we're creating a new record if there's not one there yet. And as that client kind of goes through the chat, we're changing the status to whatever status you would like. So at this point, right, I've been given an estimate, and a lot of companies have a thing called gave estimate no see, or at least we did at Lawn Doctors. I mean, somebody gave them an estimate, we didn't actually go out to the property. If I just close my phone at this point, well, this chat would be in gave estimate no see status, and then a call log gets triggered to your sales manager, your operations manager, your CSR, whoever you want getting those call log notifications. That's who would get those notifications. Beyond that, we can have emails go out alerting people to different conversation results as well. And a lot of people like the email plus the SA integration. They like to see the emails coming in, and then they just go and double check it in Service Assistant. So
very cool.
We'll continue here. A lot of people, they want to know about how it connects with Real Green. I'll kind of take you through here. We can edit this out later, and let's see here. So in your Real Green system, you're actually going to have a LawnBot employee. So that's how we kind of track things through the system. Is you got this cool little lawn robot dude here, and he's just helping you close more sales, grow your business. You might be sleeping, and he's still working for you 365, and doesn't complain, doesn't want health benefits, all that good stuff. And so we have LawnBot here in your system. So that's how things are done. I'll kind of show you an example record. Let's see here, test. Sounds like me. And you can see LawnBot here entered the client, entered their address, entered their phone number, email, geolocated the property. This chat specifically, this is a different chat that we probably did prior, maybe earlier in the week, was not shown pricing, so there's no services available here. And then the square footage here is also inputted in the system. And then a call log was generated as well. So that's kind of cool there. Let's see if we can go find an active customer that signed up. Let's see. William here. William Vansel. Open it up. And Beth, are you on SA4 hosted or 5?
SA4 hosted.
Okay, cool. So then we should be able to still do the integration and set things up, make sure you're taken care of. You know, it works with SA5 and SA4 hosted, but you know, obviously I'm a fan of SA5. It's a lot cleaner, a lot easier to see where things are at. You can see, hey, salesperson, LawnBot made a sale. This is also how this company specifically is tracking sales and ROI. So the last time I actually pulled a sales report, this company, LawnBot, had sold, and they're only maybe a month into the product, maybe less than that. And in their sales report, it had sold around 4,800 in sales.
Wow.
And it has barely been active. So you think about that, the cost of LawnBot, you know, is anywhere between $3.99 and up. Cheaper than
What do
any
you base that on?
salesperson.
The number of users, number of customers? How's
Yeah,
that work?
yeah, great question. So we found out really early, we wanted to make it really easy, simple pricing. We base it on the number of active customers. And a lot of folks ask me, well, Kendall, like, what does that mean? And I say, well, how many renewal letters did you send out last year? And they say 2,000. I think, awesome. Well, you have 2,000 active customers. What we realized really early on was the larger the company, the more volume through their bot. And that's kind of how we came up with our pricing. And so we have 0 to 3,000 customers is, I'll show you here. Let me pull it up. Pricing. So 0 to 3,000 customers is $3.99 a month. 3,000 to 6,000 customers is $4.99 a month. 6,000 to 8,000 is $5.99 a month. And then anything over 8,000, we do kind of custom pricing on. And that's because usually companies, not always, but what we've been seeing a lot is companies that have more than, you know, let's say 8 to 10,000 customers, a lot of times they're either in multiple regional markets or they're even in different states. So in those events, what we want to do is actually go in and customize. Maybe they're in 4 states. So I'll just use Xperia Green, for example, just because they just, you know, signed on with us. For Xperia Green, we're actually creating, you know, 5 different branded bots, and each one is branded to each market that they're in, right? Because they want to feel like they're a local business, and they don't want to feel, you know, feel like a template. Each bot is actually branded to where they service. So I think that's pretty cool. And a lot of the owners, you know, really like that and appreciate that because it's all about close rate. They want the bot to close deals. And
what is the average close rate?
Yeah, so right now we're seeing about a 5 to 10% close rate of total revenue. So let's say you sell 500 grand of new sales in a year. LawnBot should close at minimum 50,000 in sales for you, for your organization.
Wow.
Again, that's up. Yeah, that's up to, you know, how much inbound leads you have. But you typically, our customers, you know, for the most part, they have the inbound leads figured out. They have the production figured out. Clearly, you know, if they're using Real Green, they're an ambitious company and they want to grow their business. What they need help with is closing sales, increasing close rate, and optimizing, you know, their current inbound sales process. Instead of having a rep stuck for 20 minutes on a phone with Mrs. Jones, who she was sold when he picked up the phone, they can spend time on hitting the list, calling the gave estimate no see list, calling the cancel list, talking to the people that, you know, are on the fence, doing their callbacks, things like that, rather than, you know, wasting time talking to somebody who's already sold.
Yeah, and I
So I
call
think
that selling versus order taking.
Yes, absolutely. And you know what's amazing, Beth, is like all the owners I talk to, when I start talking, painting that picture of like sales reps just being order takers, they're like, oh my gosh, I agree with you 100%. Like everybody knows and feels that, you know, has a company like in the green space that does sales is, you know, they're like, well, why am I paying you just to be an order taker? That call is better off going to like a CSR. Okay, thanks for calling. I'm ready to place your order. Like they're going to sign up either way. So
But
why,
I'm not, this isn't meant to diminish truly good salespeople, because I have worked with some of the absolute best salespeople in this country, in this industry, and there are customers who need to be sold, but there's also a very high percentage that you just need to take their order.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in the spring. I mean, we spend so much money in marketing, and typically, as you know, Beth, like the average sale in lawn care isn't $1,200 or $2,000 in most cases. It's somewhere between $400 and $800. So it's not a huge expense typically. So it's a pretty quick sales cycle. They're not trying to spend 2 weeks on it. It seems like every year people want to spend less and less time on making these types of decisions. They just want it done. They want to know they're dealing with a good local company. Want to get a price? Hey, sign me up. Let's do it. So we're really excited about the integration with Real Green as well. I think that's the next evolution of all this.
That's very cool. So we have a company in Florida that did our website, and then we have another company where Real Green did our website. I assume anyone can hook into this, and it just looks like my website. How does that work?
Yeah, so we have a couple different ways to connect it to your website, and that's kind of what's covered with the design and build and onboard charge is us coming in and doing all of that work for you. It's a pretty white glove service from the time you pull the trigger to when we're launching the bot. There's not much heavy lifting the owners have to do. But so what that actually looks like is either number one, dealing with your web company, whether it's Real Green Marketing, who handles your website, or any of the other web companies out there. Maybe you manage your own WordPress site. There's plenty of those companies out there that they just give us full access. We log in, we connect the bot to your website. And I don't know if you saw on Lawn Plus here. Let's see. So Lawn Plus, actually, their bot lives on their webpage. So it's lawnplus.com / instant quote. So that's kind of where their bot lives here. Is it lives right on their site. And what's really cool about that is, Beth, is marketing campaigns. You think about gave estimate campaigns or cancel campaigns. You could literally text message. Oops, let me go back. That was actually pretty cool. I didn't mention that in the demo. If the bot realizes you're an active customer, it will kick them out to the CAW. So we're not going to be able to quote active customers because we're looking up in your system. If we recognize an active account, we kick them out to the CAW, which is pretty cool. But
what about a canceled account that's canceled for reason bad debt?
Yes. So I would not recommend. So here's the thing: is we control the statuses that the bot looks at. So you could filter by status. Well, at my company, it was like status 7, maybe was cancel,
6,
do not call.
bad debt, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's it's pretty interesting too. It's or you could go the other way with it, sign them up, get them to pay, and then say, oh, hey, do you know you owe us $200 from 2013? Yeah, let's take care of that today.
I remember that.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, it's a really simple onboard process. Once somebody decides they want to add LawnBot to their business, they give us the green light. We send them back a simple 10-question email. They answer the 10 questions that consist of, what programs do you want to sell? What zip codes you service, that kind of thing. Most of it we can get from Service Assistant, but we want to reference. Some companies don't want the bot to quote in every zip code that they might service on Service Assistant. So that's why we always ask them. And they answer the 10 questions. They send us the 10 questions back. We tap into their Real Green via the API. We pull in all their data, price tables, programs, and we get to building. We take their logo. We pump in their logo to the bot. We really try to make it feel like a branded experience. Once we're done with that, we send you version 1, and you get to click through it and see what you like and don't like, and you can submit changes, and we make the changes. Once we're ready to go live, we connect it to your website, connect everything to go, and then we're off to the races. Clients are able to, when they click submit on your website, they'll actually be landing on Lawn Plus Instant Quote. They'll be able to sign up, pay, and become a customer.
You know what I just realized, Kendall, is you're getting a credit card for every sale.
Correct.
And isn't that what we've all dreamed of, to lock customers in? It's the ultimate audit, really. They're not going to give you a credit card if it's not all in.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and the beautiful thing about it is we'll be able to, pump it right into Service Assistant. I mean, that's really going to be a beautiful thing when that's completed. So it's going to be really exciting having a full integration from start to finish with Service Assistant. But yeah, certainly to have all of that legwork. And we talk about sales, but I mean, I could even argue that, this could maybe replace one CSR in your office. Maybe we could have them doing different things for you, but I think
repurpose that person.
Yeah. Repurpose. So I mean, it's super interesting to kind of think about this. I remember as I was growing Lawn Doctor, we grew it from 0 to 2,000 customers. Every stage of growth required me hiring more overhead, and I would always dream about a product like this that could, number one, save me time, and 2, help me grow the business no matter what time of the day it was, or what day of the week for that matter. So one day I had enough. I just kept looking for the solution, and it wasn't out there yet. And I was like, why is nobody doing this? So I started experimenting with chatbots, and we connected the best of both worlds. We're using a bot to give the probing questions, and we're using a typical, app feel. It's a web application that pops up, and it's the beautiful checkout, that I showed you here in this other screen. So, it's a really cool thing, and we're super excited. I mean, we're at 72 companies now across the country, 32 states. We're making sales all over the place. I feel it makes me so excited to see people winning on the platform. It's almost like I'm in their market, like in their office with them, helping them sell. But it's really cool. I think it's going to be a game changer for sure.
It already is a game changer. Is there a contract? So if I say yes, the pricing looks good, and I certainly can't hire a salesperson for that, the price you quoted, what's your contract and your terms of the agreement look like?
Yeah, so we keep it. We like to call it a simple service agreement over here at LawnBot. I just ask that you give me a year. If you're going to commit to us and you're going to do the design and build, I just ask that you give us a year to show you what we can do, a full service season. And there's only one reason why it wouldn't work, and that's because there's no traffic coming to your website. That's the only reason why this wouldn't work. It works in Georgia, it works in Florida, it works in Michigan. But we got to get traffic going to your website. You got to have a good reputation in the community. That's definitely helpful. But yeah, so it looks, we have year agreements. We even the buying of a LawnBot is easy. We send you a Panda doc, you e-sign it with your finger, send it back, you pay online via a bot, and we're good to go. It's a really simple process to get signed up and going. So it's not too hard at all.
Very impressive. So what do you think is next for LawnBot? What do you think will be the next generation? If we're talking a year from now, what do you see the product doing that it might not do today?
Yeah, I think, a lot of people want to know, what about current clients? They want to upsell people like aerations and stuff through this. And I think certainly maybe down the road it could. I also think there's a lot going on around customer service that we could handle, and that's not being addressed in the marketplace around, you think of all all of the same phone calls we get in the spring. When's my next treatment? I want to pay my bill. Why do I have weeds? I want to cancel my service. I want to add something to my service. When are you going to be here? The list goes on and on. If you're watching this and you're a lawn care owner, you know exactly all of those phone calls, and they're painful sometimes.
We've talked to a lot of folks who have added perimeter pest control to their offering because you can treat the foundation of a home very successfully for a very low cost chemically. Does it have the opportunity to do a linear measure of the perimeter of the home?
Yeah. So what's exciting about is we're beta testing this right now, but it's essentially it has the ability to Zillow's great, pulling data from Real Green's great. We're working on something right now. It's in the final stages, and we're going to be beta testing it soon. But it's going to be as easy for your clients to measure things as using their fingers. So we're going to be building it into the chatbot, and basically we're going to say, okay, we'll color in the lawn that you want treated. So if you're in the South, maybe it's front and sides, and they just color in the front and sides, like with their finger. And if it's linear foot, hey, trace around your home, right? Trace around your home, and boom, it's 250 linear foot. And we can give pricing based on that. So that's in the final stages of development right now. Obviously, LawnBot version 2, this is what you're looking at here, is working great. It's closing sales. But we want to keep pushing the envelope. We want to keep increasing close rate. And that's one of the big feedback. We listen to our clients. We say, hey, what do you like about the product? What don't you like? And we're constantly thinking about how can we innovate and make this product the best it can be. And for example, I'll give you one in Utah. It's a different market out there. It's not like the Midwest. It's not like Boston or the Colorado market, for example. Utah is very unique, and they might have a 10-acre lot in a 3,000 square foot lawn. So in that event, or even let's say in the UK or Canada, the data is not as available there. We were testing our new measuring technology. It's called Measure It. And we were testing the measuring technology out in the UK. And it's so interesting. In the UK, they just have in a lot of addresses we were testing was turf in the backyard, but nothing in the front. And, it was, we colored in the backyard, and it was like 1,200 square feet. Great. Boom. Here's your price. So we're pretty excited. I think that's what I would say that should be out in the next month or so. It's very close to coming out, but I think that's what the next probably 6 months looks like for us is making the Real Green integration the best it can be, and then also this new exciting measuring technology.
That is very cool. And you hit all my hot buttons: capturing the credit card, ability to set up auto pay. We know that those are higher retaining sales. You don't have the cost of collections, and that's incredible.
Yeah, when I was running Lawn Doctor, I always dreamed for the day we could have. I was really surprised at how many checks we still got, and checks are great, but I would, even with auto pay, it's like we'd get cards on file, and somehow they just expire, or there's fraud, right? And you have to call them to get the new card info. Or if you're using Real Green AMA, you have the expiration emails go out and have it auto updated. But the times are certainly changing in the green industry. It's not like the days where you're picking up the check underneath the doormat. I think the industry is moving pretty quick, and it's going to evolve really quickly into this kind of modern buying experience. What we're seeing.
Well, think about it. For as long as I've been in the industry, we always had the tact of the technician will leave the invoice on the door, and you can just mail us a check whenever. No plumber is coming to your house today under the guise of that. Everyone else demands a credit card on file, and therefore we get put to the bottom of the barrel. So that's great.
Yeah, and people don't want to have to worry about paying the lawn guy. They just, I think for the most part, we tested something, Beth. It was pretty interesting. We had an idea at my Lawn Doctor business that, the reason why people aren't paying their bill isn't because, they don't want to. It's just too hard. We think about how many logins we have these days. So we tested something, and we exported a list of everybody that owed us money to a spreadsheet. we had a bot hooked up. We texted everybody, a special link where they didn't have to log in. They could just click this link, and the bot knows how much they owe, what address they live at, and it says, "Hey, Karen, you owe us $400. Do you want to do a full payment or a partial payment?" And they could decide, and we collected $4,000 in one swoop. Like, it was. So that tells me I think there's a lot of work to do around making it easy for all of our green industry customers. I think, what was the number for True Green? How many customers do they have? Like 6 million or something?
Oh, a lot, way more than that. I can't think the number though. Yeah.
So millions and millions of homeowners around the country who all utilize services, they're all having similar painful experiences, paying their bill or, definitely signing up for service. But yeah, I'm excited to see what the future holds. Especially for our LawnBot companies. Everybody's been super thrilled. They say, it's always fun for when they make their first few sales. They shoot me a text and they're like, "Wow, the customer said it was the most amazing experience." And I think that kind of tells me more than anything. If they're getting that positive feedback from their customers, like, "Wow, like that's amazing. I went to 3 lawn care companies and yours was the best online ordering experience." I think that says a lot. Whether your sales rep ends up closing them over the phone or LawnBot closes them, I think the way you present yourself online says a lot about your company. So
It definitely, I would say, suggests a higher level of sophistication. And if you can manage that, I think you're going to do a terrific job on the lawn.
yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. Yes, yeah, Beth. So with that in mind, I'm sure you can see how this would help your business this year, right?
I can't think of any other questions, Kendall. How long does it take? So if I tell you yes today and I sign your seamless sales Panda Doc, when will my prospects be able to shop with this product?
Yeah. So after you sign that, I'm gonna send it to you right now. Shoot it back. You just sign it, right on your phone there, and we'll send you the onboard email right after that. It's actually an automation that gets sent. Once you sign, you get sent the onboard email, and we'll get the building. And we should have you a clickable version for you to proof, right? Just like with direct mail, you want to proof it, make sure everything looks good, in 14 days. So
That is terrific. Hey, I really appreciate your help today, and I'm excited to get started with LawnBot.
awesome. We look forward to working with you.
Alrighty, bye-bye.
All right, thanks.